Okay, so the last tool for today is going to be the morphing tools. How do you take something from one shape to another shape? So it doesn't matter how you get to the shape. Let's say you made a band using curve, offset, curve, extrude to make a band, something like this. All right. Let's open this up. So I'm going to make a circle from 0, I don't know, out to there. I'm going to offset that circle. Okay, so these are just the curve tools I'm going to use through point. And then we learned that you can either sweep now or put a profile. If you just quickly want to make a band, you can extrude that.
Yeah.
Okay, and you want solid as yes, and you can pick a distance and you can extrude it. Right, and you get a band, okay? So you can then also, you can make a flat item like a pendant using a sweep. So just a quick recap of some of the tools we've used before. Oh, and I used the worst curve tool ever. I hate that tool. So this one, little arrow, and use this one, which gives you much better organic control over what you're doing. All right, so I'm going to grab that guy, and you can put a profile on it, and we've learned you can use a bit of history, okay, and you can even out your stuff. So the curve tools I'm going to leave to you to learn a little bit on your own each day. I'll give you some hints and tips about which ones I found kind of helpful, like this when you can't get something looking even, for example. There's a command called fair.
Fair.
Okay.
All
right. And what's the tolerance I want to fair to? 1 millimeter. So watch what happens to the curve. Each time I run it, the curve gets nice and smooth for me.
Oh,
okay.
And
it
smaller.
refits. Yeah. And so what it's doing is it'll take anything kind of lumpy. I recommend what I do every day is just to see what new tools there are. I go to the command line, I type J. What have I got? Oh, there's only 3 tools for J, and one I wrote. All right. So this J wasn't a good example. Let's go to I. Okay. So under I, I've got a tool called insert. Insert what? What does insert do?
Okay.
So I'll click insert, and I'll go to the help, and I'll see. Oh, it's inserting a block instance. All right.
Okay.
How does that work? I'll go have a look at the help. Google what does Rhino block, and then I learn a new tool.
Okay.
There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tools in here. So far we've only concentrated really on the ones we want to play with. So I'm going to work with the most elemental of the geometry tools, and then go a little bit more complicated than that. So I'm going to take this band. All right. I'm going to get rid of these curves. Cell curve. Remember, anything cell. Followed by what you want to select. We'll give you a selection and delete them for now because they're annoying me. I'm going to grab that guy and scale it up a little bit, and then I'm going to. The first one is cage edit. All right, so if you have a surface, so let's make a plane. All right. It is a single surface. It's not a poly surface. It's just a surface. You could hit F10 to turn on its edit points, and you can grab the edit points and you can change the shape of the surface. All right. Same as you can with a curve. And similarly, you can rebuild a surface. Remember, like we did a rebuild on a curve.
So
you can rebuild the surface. Okay, that's fine with me. And so now you've got more points. It means you can make nice organic shapes with it. You can do this, and you can do that, and you can bend out the shape of the surface, something like that. And now you can kind of play with the surface. So this is called surface modeling, and very, 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 it's a really good way to get to a shape you want that you can't flow, you can't, if you really can't figure out how else to make a shape, we'd use surface modeling. So the problem with surface modeling is after you attach another shape to it. So if I take this and I explode it, you'll see that this is a surface. I can turn on its edit points. This is a surface. I can turn on its edit points. This is a surface, but it was made from a trim, so you can see it used to be a plane. See its edit points? Sorry, I was playing in Blender before. All right, so this over here used to be a big square, and this circle intersected it, and it trimmed it, and it capped off the surface. So even this surface is not 100% right. But your biggest problem is, if you wanted to now play with this thing and you wanted to change the shape of it, after it's joined, after it's one poly surface, so if you look at, if you type that and you go what, you'll see it's a poly surface. Poly meaning many surfaces. So it's many surfaces joined together into one. It's a valid poly surface, meaning that all the surfaces are joined 100%, there's no leaks, so it's closed. This is perfect for manufacturing, right? All that geometry, if you explode it, will end up in 4 different items. All right, so now let's turn on the edit points.
Yeah.
Cannot turn on points for poly surfaces. Rhino can't understand which point you want to work with, because this one, if we explode this again, okay,
yeah,
if I turn this on and I turn on F10, I can get its points and I can play with it. Okay.
Okay.
I turn on this one's points, it's not in the same place where the other one's points were. So this one's got its point isn't attached to that point, and it's also a different kind of surface. I can't even move it around even if I want to.
Okay.
So because these surfaces came in here as different things,
yes,
and the edges don't line up from the original surface they were made from, it's very, very complicated, in fact. So Rhino doesn't know what you're doing. Once we join it,
yeah,
you're buggered. All right, you cannot turn on edit points, and Rhino will tell you that. Cannot turn on points for poly surface.
Okay.
All right, so what you can do is, there's a way to cheat. You can use a cage edit. All right, so under your transform tools at the top here,
yes,
or under transform here, we're going to work with these tools today. All right.
Transform.
So one of the transforms is you can move something. I'm transforming it from here to here.
Yes.
We've used this tool before. It doesn't actually transform the geometry, it just moves it, okay? But it's under the transform tools. All right?
Okay.
Then you can copy something, you can rotate it, you're transforming what it looks like, you can scale it, so you can transform its size. There you actually are changing it.
Yeah.
You will get to symmetry in a later. Then you've got a couple more ones, the fun ones down here. You can twist something, you can bend something, you can taper it. We played quickly with taper one day, remember?
Yeah.
You can stretch something, and we're going to get to these two today. You can flow along curve, you can flow along surface, and cage edit. So these 3 are probably the most useful in jewelry, and you'll see the designers working with these all the time.
Flow along curve.
Yeah, flow along curve, flow along surface, and cage edit. So I'm going to start with cage edit. So I'm going to run the command cage edit.
Yeah.
And there's many options in cage edit. I've only explained the ones that are more useful to you.
Okay.
And I encourage you to learn afterwards. So in most cases, the kind of control object, you're going to select bounding box.
Bounding box.
Okay, so we're going to select the bounding box around the item.
Yeah.
You're going to press enter.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll explain what these are. These are how many points, how many fake edit points do you want me to give you in the Z direction, in the Y direction, and in the X direction?
Yeah.
All right, so if we look inside here, you can see that you've got X over there, Z over here, and Y over here.
Yeah.
So in this case, I want to do the same as a taper, but I want to control it myself. I want to taper to different kind of a shape in the side view. All right, so in Z, I think 4, 4, and 4 is enough for me. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm going to press enter. All right, and I'm going to press enter.
Yeah.
So now it's created a bunch of fake edit points for me that I can use to try to control this geometry.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go just in the side view of this. Okay, so this is our side view.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab these bottom edit points.
Yeah.
Remembering that you're grabbing all of them, all right? Can you see through here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're actually grabbing all of them. So if you grab here, remember, oops, escape. Maybe exploded something. So if you grab those edit points, you're grabbing them together. You can use the manipulator scaler, and you can scale them in.
Yeah.
And you quickly change the shape of the ring.
Okay.
All right. So I want to bring it in, looking a bit like that. I want to bring this one a little bit like that.
Yeah.
So this flow, in fact, was far faster than creating a profile, sweeping, creating 2 outside curves. It's very organic, so the designers really love it because you can play around. You know, I want this shape, I want the top to be a little bit wider, I want the top to be narrower, and then I want the side to come out a bit like that. And you can play. So this is where it becomes important how many of those points you selected. So I'm going to show you a different way. Okay, I'm going to make another cage edit with the bounding box. Okay, this time I want to do an exact taper just on one end. All right, so I only want in Z, I want 2 points, 1 point at the top and 1 point at the bottom. So I'm going to go in the Z point count, I'm going to go 2 points. All right?
Yeah.
The degree, remember when we spoke about a curve? Degree 3 is very fluid, degree 4 is even more fluid, degree 5 is even more fluid. You know what I mean? Whereas degree 2 or degree 1 will make a very hard corner. So a line, for example, that line over there, is degree 1.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's kinks. And this would
Yeah.
be degree 3, it's more flowy. So we want
Yeah.
this thing to kink. So I'm going to make this, all of them degree 1.
Yeah.
I want this thing to bend. I'm going
Yeah.
to leave that like that. I'm going to press enter and enter. So
Yeah.
now you'll see what happens when I grab this. Because in Z I only have points at the top and points on the bottom. When I taper it, when I scale it, it's going to give me a dead straight, like a taper.
Okay.
Because there weren't points in the middle. Up here, if I give it a bend, so I'm only going to grab the top ones up here.
Yeah.
I'm going to move them. Watch what happens to the band. See, it gets a kink
Yes.
because it was degree 1. So now the
Yeah.
band gets a kink.
Yeah.
So understanding how these work is a little, you can have a lot of fun with them. They're very organic. Don't be scared of them. I mean, you can always control Z and go backwards.
Yeah.
So you can make some quite organic shapes, you know, quite flowy shapes really, really quickly. So this process is really handy for when you're making a matching wedding band. You've got a example, a engagement ring,
Yeah.
and you make a flat band and you bring the ring up next to it, you lock the ring so you can't accidentally select it.
Yeah.
You turn on the edit points for this and you start moving them around until the band fits pretty close.
All right.
And you can play with it, and then when you're done,
Oh.
I'll show you the next process.
Okay.
All right?
Got
So
it.
it's just a way by eye to see that something fits pretty quickly. It's a
Yeah.
workflow. I'm not saying it's the right workflow or a good workflow, but it is a workflow. The other thing
Yes.
to remember is Rhino, many different roads to Rome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to repeat this because I want to taper this and then I want to put a dome shape on it. You would have
Okay.
seen in our previous lessons when we did that, we created a
D-shape.
curve and a curve, and we created a profile. I'm gonna say bugger it. Whole
Okay.
new different way to that. So I'm gonna go page edit,
Yes.
bounding box, yes, 444, degree 1, degree 1, degree 1, and yeah, that's pretty much fine. All right. And I'm gonna taper this guy in like that.
Yes.
All right, that's fine. That's my shape that I wanted. Delete the cage now, I no longer need it. All right, and then I want to put a D shape on this. So I'm going to grab this. I'm
Yeah.
going to explode it from the 4 surfaces it is.
Yes.
Exploded a poly surface into 4 different surfaces.
Yes.
And I no longer want this top one. So I'm going to delete the top one.
Yes.
Okay, now I've got the inside of the ring.
Yes.
I'm going to grab that. And I'm going to draw an arc with a handle. This one.
Yes.
I'm going to go from that quad to
Yeah.
that quad to here, and I already have my 2 edges, so I'm going to go
Yeah.
sweep
So
2.
two.
I'm going to select this edge, I'm going to select this edge, and I'm going to select that arc.
Yeah.
And by a completely different way,
Oh.
I made a ring.
A dome shape.
No curves, no
Oh,
anything.
okay.
And I could do the same thing if I want to make it comfort fit, I could do the same thing on the inside. And I could explode
Okay.
that. Get rid of this inside, create an arc with a handle. This is a very handy way to put a comfort fit inside a ring, by the way. So something like that, and then sweep 2 with this one and this one, and
Yeah.
that cross surface, and okay.
Okay.
And so now we've got a nice dome ring without having to struggle to make a dome ring. All right.
Okay, good.
This isn't the right way to make a ring, just me showing you it's a way.
Okay, that's good. But I got a question. Not yesterday, while I play around, no matter how, my record history keep it turned off.
You have to go right click, but turn on always record history.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, so mine is always on, except sometimes it can be annoying and I turn it off. If I'm not
Okay.
intending to use history. In this case we are.
Got it.
All right, so we made a ring that we're going to use a little bit later. I'm
Yeah.
going to just stash it out here and I'm going to show you the next little thing we've got. So I'm going to create a circle in this view, like that. All right. I'm going to
Yeah.
ask Rhino what the length of it is. So I highlight it and I type the command length.
Yeah.
All right. It gives me 57.711, so I highlight that.
Yeah.
Control C,
Yeah.
copy it. Now I'm going to produce a line. Line, Shift, Tab, and Control V to put in the length.
Yes.
Press Enter.
Yes.
I now have a flat line that's exactly as long as the circle. This is important,
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
So if I cut this circle in half and I unrolled it,
Yeah.
it will be the length of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understand.
So now I'm going to go to the solids menu, I'm going to get some text.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put, wait,
Yeah.
what's your surname?
SONG.
Wait, song and 9K. Oi. 9K.
Yeah.
All right, Arial. I want it bold. I'm good with that. Height 6 millimeter. Oh, 6 millimeters too much. Normally an engraving is like about 2 millimeters tall.
Okay.
And about 1 millimeter thick, and I want to make some solids. Okay. So now I've got the writing. I'm going to put it down on this line here.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to move it about halfway into the line, in the side view like that. Okay.
Yes.
And now we're going to play with flow. So the first transform tool we're going to work with today is flow. I want to take this stuff and I want to bend it around the ring rail.
Okay.
Okay. Because I want to cut this out as an engraving inside the wedding band afterwards.
Yes.
Right? So the command is going to be flow.
Yeah.
Make sure your history is on.
Okay. Yeah.
Flow. Select the objects you want to flow. It's the writing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Select the base curve.
Yeah.
Where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Select the target curve, where we're going to.
Oh.
Okay. And now because we had history, you can even move it anywhere you want. So you can now move it here, and it will move there. You want to move it in or out of the ring, you can move it in, you can move it out.
Okay.
All right? So that's flowing along a curve. How you would use that in the real world. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Yeah. Remember we learned a little command yesterday, extract ISO curve. If I want that curve, I've got no curves left on my screen, but I want this curve in the middle of the surface, I can extract an ISO curve from it. So extract ISO, in fact I'm going to show you two different ways to do it, but for now we'll go extract ISO curve. Where are you? There. Select the surface I want to extract one from, this one.
Yes.
Where on the surface do I want it? If you didn't want the engraving right in the middle, you'd maybe put over there, maybe you've got 2 lines of engraving. I don't know. All right. For me now, I want it in the middle.
Yeah.
Press enter. So now I've got a curve where I never used to have a curve. Okay. So now I'm going to take this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to go flow.
Yeah.
This curve to this curve.
Yeah.
And I'm going to move it until where I need it. So let's move it around. Wait, wrong side. Yeah. Okay. There. So I need it inside there. It's too big, so I'm going to scale it smaller.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm happy there. We're ready to boolean this out. And that's our engraving for this ring. Okay, normally engraving is about here somewhere. All right, so that's flow. And it flows the item as hard as you need. So if you speak to the CAM team, they will show you that they want it not to be too deep in the surface, usually.
Yeah.
And so now because you use history, you can control this. You can go, not so deep in the surface, maybe a little bit less deep in the surface. Oh, that looks good to me. All right, and you can press enter. All right, so at this point, if you wanted to cut this out, you grab this surface, you go, one of the tools we learned yesterday, Boolean difference.
Yeah.
Because we want to cut these items out. When you do this, you're going to break history. Because the things that you flowed from here to there are no longer here.
Okay.
So, but it doesn't matter. If you're happy with where it is, you're good.
Yeah.
I'm going to right click and I'm going to cut away the other two. Okay. And so now you've got the item with some engraving in it. All right, and it's following the inside of the ring beautifully because we did a flow from the flat curve to the round curve. Okay. Now what I did in the beginning to take a circle, get the length, and get a dead flat curve, that's where you want it to match exactly. You know, you've got a very specific size it has to be. It doesn't really matter if this is the only purpose you're using it. It doesn't matter how long that curve was.
Yes.
Because you can move it, scale it, slide it around.
Yeah.
But another instance where you might use flow is you might have a curve like this. Let's go to the top view. And you need to flow the text exactly up to the halfway point on this curve, and then you have to flow some other text exactly to the halfway point on that curve. Then you need to have an exact length. These two curves have to match each other exactly.
Yes.
Because where this is on this curve has to be exactly here on this curve. So let's do a flow again.
Yeah. Flow.
From this curve to this curve.
Yeah.
Okay, and so now the same thing, you can move this.
Yes.
But you see when we came to the end here, we're not at the end here. This curve was longer than this curve.
Yes.
So that's why the first method I used, finding a length, then if you needed this this to be exactly at the end of that curve,
yes.
you could move this to exactly the end of this curve.
Yes.
Because we didn't have the length, it's not. All
no.
Right. So let's do that again. Let's delete this curve this time. Let's get length.
Length.
Let's get rid of the writing first of all. All right, so the command is length.
Length.
63.657 millimeters, 3 decimals going to be enough.
Yeah.
We're going to create another line.
Yeah.
About here somewhere. Shift tab. Wait. Is my smart track on? No. Line.
I tried a smart track yesterday. It doesn't work for me.
Some people find it to be a very powerful tool, and other people don't. Right, just one of those things. Some people, the way they learn to use Rhino.
It's so annoying.
So if we now do a flow,
yes.
right, because these two curves are exactly the same length, so flow. Yeah. What do I want to flow? That. Where do I want to flow from? From there to here.
Yeah.
If I now move this to exactly the end of this curve.
Yes.
It's going to be exactly on the end of this curve.
Get it.
That's why I use the length command.
Yes.
In the case of doing engraving, doesn't really matter.
Yes.
All right. So this is great if you wanted to flow something in one dimension. What I mean by one dimension is, you see how it's flat on the bottom here? It's also flat on the bottom there.
Yes.
All right. Because you've got history, you can now move this curve up a little bit. Let's move these guys back. Let's move these guys back to there somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. So you can get it to flow even around like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Around any kind of surface you want, or any kind of curve you want.
Yeah.
But the problem is, what if it was also meant to be domed in this direction? Maybe you've got a pendant that's coming up and around like this, but the surface under the pendant is domed, and you wanted the writing to curve. So kind of like this ring. It doesn't just matter. So let me show you the wrong way. So I'm going to do the way again. All right. I'm going to grab an ISO curve from the outside here.
Self curve.
Extract ISO curve.
Extract.
Let me show you the other way to do it. If you really can't find a curve, draw a line from 0 both sides from the middle, and shift and click. Yeah. Take the line, type project. You're going to project the line onto this. Press enter, and guess what? When it projected the line intersected with the surface there, and it intersected with the surface there. It's a different way. As long as the exact middle is what you're looking for. We are going to do a lesson on how to use that for another reason in a minute.
Yes.
But the normal way that you would do this is you would extract an ISO curve along the top. For now, we've got that curve. We're going to get its length. Come on. Copy. And we're going to make a line from here to the length, Control V.
Yes.
We're going to move Hoy's writing to here. And this time we're going to make it bigger.
Yeah.
Something like that, all right? Because you wanted to put some writing on the top of the ring. Okay, so now we're going to do the flow again. All right? So I'm going to do flow. Let's delete this nonsense line. Grab that. Flow. I'm going to go from this curve to this curve. This curve, yeah. Where is it? Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed the edge. Okay, I'm going to flow. My goodness, let me just hide this while I'm doing it. Okay. I tried to float onto that. Idiot. All right, so, and what's this all here? Oh, because I projected. All right. So, I'm going to flow this.
Yeah.
From here to here. Okay, and we're going to move it around so it's up near the top. It's a little bit too big to fit across the top. Anyway, let's leave it there for now. And then show the ring again, and you'll see what the problem is. So in this viewport, let's push it down a bit. Wasn't what I meant to do. I meant to get that scale up, make it a little bit thinner. Give it a little bit thinner, and bring it down the surface a bit. All right, so what we were hoping to do was to get this to also be domed like the ring.
Oh, okay.
But I cannot, because I've only got a flat curve to work from.
Yes.
So I can still make it go up and down, but I'm never going to change the fact that it's going to flow flat.
Yes.
Because there's only one axis that it can take a reference point from.
Yes.
All right. So that works great for when you're doing engraving on the inside of the ring, but when you want to flow items like this and you want to like maybe little heart shapes or something, you with me? So let's make this a more real. Let's make this more real, and a quick bonus for you, how to draw a heart quickly in Rhino. Create a circle from there, go out, straight up. Okay, turn on the edit points and pull this one in and pull this one down. And you've got a heart. Okay, so really quick and dirty way to make a heart.
Good way.
All right, so we're going to take that guy, we're going to extrude it.
Yes.
Something like this.
Yes.
Okay, so now you've got these hearts. I'm going to grab the extrusion, I'm going to copy it.
Yes.
I'm going to copy from here, I'm going to put one there, 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 etc., etc., etc. All right.
Yes.
And then we're going to rotate a couple of them. So you might have this really nice design. I don't know if you see what I mean with annoying history. So you might have this really nice design and you think it's really good and you want to flow it over the top of the item. I'm going to delete that end height there. Annoying. See, that's why I sometimes turn off voice record history. So I'm going to grab these guys this time.
Yes.
We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go flow.
Yeah.
From this curve to this curve.
Yeah.
And so you see it looks pretty shitty because it's flat. You know, you are hoping that it's going to flow along the surface.
Okay.
The beauty of when you had history, I've turned it off now, is you could have changed this last heart's position and you would have fixed it on the bottom.
Yeah.
Irrespective, it illustrates the problem we have. We wanted this to flow and it wouldn't. Right, so second part of the lesson with flow, you've got a special flow called flow along surface.
Flow on surface.
Yeah. I'm going to grab all these guys, I'm going to delete them and delete them. All right, so we'd like to do a flow where these things not only go around the ring like this, they also bend across the ring.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to explode this so we can get a surface.
Yes.
Okay. Now this one you're going to have to practice a little bit. I'm going to grab this surface, the one we want to flow on, not that one, this one. Yeah, this one here. New curve, a new command is called create UV curve.
Create UV curve.
Okay, I could go into explaining what this is, but it's long and it's complicated. All you need to know is that you need to do it. So you go create UV curve.
Create
all right.
UV curve.
Press enter.
Yes.
And you see that it's created this rectangle. This rectangle represents this surface laid out flat.
Understand.
Okay. So we now need a surface, a target surface. So we're going to grab this guy. We're going to explode the curves. We're going to do a sweep 2. So U and U.
Yes.
Sweep 2 from U to U and press enter. Okay. Now that's all I need. All right. So these curves I can delete now. I no longer need them. So we now have. Remember how we used length to create a curve that's exactly the right length of a circle? We've used that command to create a surface that represents this surface laid out flat.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to take out our hearts now. We're going to move them over to here, something like that.
Yes.
Okay. So the next problem we have is we want these to be in the middle of the ring. Can you see that there's a seam here?
What?
This surface that we have here, can you see its join is here? Can you see there's one line that's very heavy? Looking at the screen, there's a heavy, correct. That's its seam. So this surface starts here and it finishes here. So this surface goes in this direction. Remember when we did the sweep?
Yes.
We had a profile up here. So this surface starts here. That surface starts there. So if we did this flow, it's going to take these hearts and put them on the bottom of the ring and then bring them around. So what we want to do is we want to move where this curve surface starts. All right?
Okay.
So you've got surface, seam, let's search seam, surface seam.
Yeah.
We want to change where the seam is. Select a closed surface for seam adjustment. This one.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
See, it knows it's there. I want to bring it down to the bottom. Down here to there. All right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're done. So now I don't have a seam up at the top. So when I do this command, it's going to, this bottom of the surface, let's make this easy for you to understand. So I'm going to hide a couple of these things on the inside. All right, I'm going to hide those. All right, so you've got a surface.
Yes.
At the moment, it used to be, see the heavy line?
Yes.
It used to be at the top. The heavy line represents the start and the finish of the surface.
Yes.
We want to flow these to be in the middle of the ring. This surface's start is here,
yes,
and its end is here. Or its start is here, its end is here, it doesn't matter, but you can see that where it was a problem. Because when you did this flow, it's going to put all these hearts in the bottom of the ring. You following?
I think, see, now after you change, this is the start.
Now it's the start at the bottom.
Yes.
It used to be the start at the top.
Yes.
So if we flowed this,
yes,
this is the start.
Yes.
It used to be this was the start.
Yes.
So it would start looking along here, find the first heart, start looking along here, and put the first heart here. Then the next heart here. Then and the hearts would actually be upside down. We didn't want them there.
Yeah.
We wanted them on the top of the ring, so we changed the start surface to the bottom.
Like this.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. So then you've got to be a little wary of that because it'll catch you sometimes. You'll flow something and go, oh fuck, it's upside down. Why is it upside down? Where did it go to? All right.
Yeah.
So the commands are very similar. I'm going to turn record history back on.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to grab those items. This time I'm going to go flow.
Yeah.
That was the first one. This time I'm going to flow on a surface.
Okay.
So flow along surface.
Yes.
Read the command. Base surface, select an edge near a corner. This is important.
Select base surface.
All right. So this is your starting surface that you want to flow from. This is your surface you want to flow to.
Yes.
It's saying select an edge. So here's an edge.
Yeah.
But there's also a corner of this edge.
Yes.
Here's an edge. There's a corner of the edge.
Yes.
If you selected this corner, and then down in the next step you selected this corner, your stuff would be mirror. It would be reverse. So make sure you select the same corner of each edge each time. So base surface, select an edge near a corner.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I want to select this one here near that corner.
Yes.
Then we're going to come inside here and we're going to select that one here near this corner. And there's our flow.
Got it.
All right. Now we've got these little hearts, but they now not only flow. They're no longer flat, they now follow the surface of the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now you can see you've got some distortion near the edges because this thing tapers, this one does not. So this is a little trick you've got to watch out for. So these edge ones here, you might have to, on purpose, so let's just move them
make
close.
it slightly bigger.
Well, you might have to, you have to tweak them a little bit. There's a way around that, but then you lose the fact that it merges stuff around. So you can have a look at this one. And you scale it out a little bit in this direction until you get your heart shape looking good again.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so because you had history, you can do that. All right. And if you needed, I want them a little bit uneven, I want this one up, I want that one down a little bit, one up, one down. You can now still rotate it again. I want to look a bit more random like that, move it over. And it's updating live on the surface for you.
Yeah.
All right. So if you now show the rest of your ring again, and you can join all the other items. You're not going to join these because they're not a poly surface, but at least you can join your ring back together.
Yeah.
The minute you join the ring, you broke history because that surface is no longer a surface. It's part of a poly surface. Adjusting this, nothing's going to happen. So be careful of that. I'm going to go Control Z.
Yeah.
While this is a surface on its own, and this was a surface on its own, your history was intact. Your history was working. Okay, you could do this and things would update.
Yeah.
The minute you go, okay, I'm happy, I want to join these back again. When you join this, this thing is not a surface anymore.
So I can't move.
You can't move stuff. Nothing's going to update. You broke the history. So the history was reliant on this surface matching that surface. The minute you join this, that surface doesn't exist anymore.
Got it.
So history says I got nothing to flow to.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
All right, I'm going to stop that here for today because I feel like it's a lot of things to get onto. All right. Quickly, for bonus, you're never going to use this. You can ask the designers. I doubt they use it. You've got some morphing tools called example for twist. I'm going to delete. Let me save this file for you so you can play with it.
Yesterday I struggled to fix my problem. It's sometimes so easy to make a mistake. And I don't know where it is. I have to find out. Oh, where? Why? Okay, what did I do? Oh,
so
hard.
Let's say, imagine this was I don't know. Let's say this heart, you needed to give it a bit of a bend. Now we've already played with taper, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to grab all of these now.
Yeah.
And I want to twist them. I want to make them like a screw. All right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go twist. It's one of the morphing tools you'll find up here. So you can also find it here. There's twist, bend, taper. All right?
Yes, transform.
It needs an axis. Remember what an axis is? Oops, let's do it again. It needs an axis. What am I going to bend around? The axis, I'm going to start over here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through to over here.
Yeah.
And then in the view that I want to bend stuff, I'm going to go here. And I'm going to bend it 180, 360.
Yeah.
And so I made all these cute little hearts. They're bended and twisted.
Oh, that's
Right.
cute.
Okay. So bend works exactly the same. You can grab any piece of geometry. I want to bend this a little bit, so highlight the geometry, type bend. What is the spine? Well, what it means is what's the axis. The axis start is over there, axis start is over here, the end is over here, and I can bend something.
Oh, okay.
All right, handy little tool. So play around in the transform tools. You've got stretch, does exactly the same thing. So let's say that I want to stretch just this piece a little bit further out. I can highlight the geometry, stretch. I want to stretch this piece from here to here. I want to stretch it out a little bit.
Ah, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So those are the transform tools. Twist, bend, taper, stretch, you're not going to use a lot.
Yeah.
You're probably going to use flow along curve the most and flow along surface the most.
Okay.
All right?
Got it. Thank you so much.
No worries.